All right, guys, so here we are for another Zoom Q&A. We are lucky here to be joined by the director and star of the upcoming movie Aquarium of the Dead. We have Glenn Miller. We got Ava Seha. Say hi, guys.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for
Thanks for having
joining
us.
us. Believe me, thank you for coming on. This is going to be a blast. So we recently reviewed the movie. We got a nice sneak peek from Asylum over on the Bad Movie Night channel, and I see you guys have seen our review. We got into respond a little correspondence over Twitter, and that's what brought us here to this Zoom talk. So what did you think of our video on your video?
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
The review was amazing because you guys nailed it. Like every little thing, I swear. It was like what comes to mind is the well, they kept repeating these sets probably because they couldn't they probably, this is the only place that they could shoot or whatever. We were so limited at where we could shoot, and it was like if we wanted to just go down the hallway, it was like, oh, that's gonna be another $200 or whatever. It was like, okay, fine, we can't go down that hallway. So we were limited to probably about 5 or 6 spots where we were shooting. We can't really mention where we were shooting.
So
Actually, we're not allowed to say.
That was part of my assumption during our review also, was that they might not. Was that exterior shot? Was that of the aquarium, or is that something else?
Oh yeah, that was all shot there at the
That
aquarium.
is the aquarium. Okay. I did some Googling and I couldn't find it, but I'll have to dig harder for next time.
The battleship portion where our two funny characters are running around, that was a different location. Those were pickups, actually.
While you mentioned Skylar and Douglas's characters here, was there ever any thought of making that, a budding love interest? They had so much chemistry.
Okay, they got a restroom?
Yeah, and a candy machine too.
Good, you need a candy bar. You're a little hangry.
Sorry, just a little stressed.
I would love to do a spin-off of a spin-off.
That was my thing, and I rewatched the movie, and I think it was all because of that line where he says something like wow, a guy named Skylar who cooks, this is great, or something. And I was like, okay, he's in.
A dude named Skylar who also cooks?
Look, it's a diverse world, man.
Oh, it is now.
Skylar was originally supposed to be a girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
They made it into Brandon's character, which I think is made it so much better.
Those two, they worked so nicely. Yeah, that was of course a great choice. I thought, like as you mentioned, Lee, with the Skylar is a guy's name. Oh, you cook, but he gave him no shit for being a nurse, and I was like, okay, took the high road. I like.
But I'm in my 2nd year of nursing school, so I don't have time for a love life, let alone a hot cooked meal.
There was a lot of good ad lib in those with those two guys. We just kind of just let them go, and they just kind of, they would kind of do oh god, who does it the best? Gary Busey. Gary Busey does this amazing thing where he starts with the dialogue that he's supposed to read, goes off on some tangent, goes all the way around, and comes back to where he's supposed to land by the end of his dialogue. And you're like, how did he do that? It's amazing. I don't know.
Aloha, Belle.
Hello, Lamp.
Hello, Gary. See? Yay!
But yeah, those two guys were amazing. I loved the hell out of them. I'm so glad that they made so much fun out of that movie.
Well, it's a fun movie. So it had me at the trailer. So like we saw the trailer, I immediately hopped on with Chris because he's got to connect over to Silent. I'm like, we gotta watch this movie. And he's like done. And like very quickly they responded. They sent us over the screener, and like definitely happy we watched it. So like what made you jump from the zoo like Zombies 1, Zombies 2? And I thought I hadn't seen Zombies 2, but actually I had. I kind of blended them together in my head. So Zombies 2, then Zombies, and then this is happening almost at the same time. Would that be the timeline?
Yeah, it happens either during the first movie or just after the first movie. So it's somewhere in that that amazing helicopter shot at the end of the first movie. It's somewhere in there. She made a phone call and amongst all the chaos, and she said, "Hey, don't do anything with the serums that we sent you guys." So so yeah, it's in there somewhere.
What made you want to jump to the aquarium thing and not do necessarily another zoo movie, or would you be open to doing another zoo?
I definitely want to finish off the Zombies franchise with a third one. This was kind of Zombies 2.5, if you will.
I will.
There had been discussions whether or not we were going to go with sea creatures or bugs, or
Okay.
or spiders or something. But they had already decided that they were going to do another bug movie for something else. I would still like to explore bugs and spiders and whatnot and stuff, but I think that's going to be a different movie. But yeah, Sea Life. It was fun.
I'm so glad it wasn't bugs. I don't
And do you
like-
want to go all around the horn with like an estuary or a safari or whatever? Like, is the goal to keep hitting those things and do more spin-offs?
Right?
and
Yeah,
whatnot, or-
just keep going. And I mean, the third one is going to be very, very different.
in space. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Can I give you my pitch for what your fourth, in the Zombies world would be?
Please.
So Zombies, 3 or movie 4, whatever you want to call it. I think of it as Zombies 3. I call it Zombies 3 Extinction. And you pick up with the people that survived on the helicopter, and you have your gorilla awakens at the end of the first one, and the gorilla, is still carrying the virus. And now in this movie, you have the crab that gets knocked out into the ocean. So the crab has blown out the disease into the wilds. And you have this thing where it's an extinction event where the ocean is now teeming with these zombies. The gorilla has spread it along the land, and you have to have, Miranda comes back. We have the couple from movie 2 and our survivors from movie 1 being the only ones that even know what's happening, and they have to figure out this reverse engineer way of stopping this whole business.
See, again, you're spot on with it, man. You've got it. You've nailed it. Definitely.
Not either.
Definitely would love to bring the cast back from the other 2 movies. That is something that I've always been kind of daydreamed that I always want to bring back. Little Lala, the little girl from the first one and stuff. She's a little bit more grown up now and stuff. Yeah, definitely want to bring back the cast, so the survivors from the first and the second movie. So have them team up together and stuff and save the world. So we'll see what happens.
It's a great crew of survivors that I think could make something nice. You could even have a cameo. Douglas is in prison somewhere, and they're attacking there, and that's your aside. There's a lot of stuff's happening here, but we'll keep our conversation towards the movie at hand here. So
Totally.
so being that you filmed it in an aquarium, what were maybe the bonuses or difficulties in being in an actual aquarium during a movie?
The bonuses were just the amazing set pieces. I mean, we barely had to do anything. All we had to do was just throw up a logo up on a wall, and bam, it was the Shining Sea Aquarium. That it was just us. That was the best part. The hallways, we got to shoot in 3 different hallways. We got to go outside where they're walking around and stuff and feeding the sharks and stuff, and the octopus attack at the beginning. The struggles, Ava remembers some of the struggles.
I would just say some of the struggles were because it was during COVID. They were really strict about masks, which is totally understandable. But we would be on set and in between takes, and we're just about to do another take, and they're like, "You have to put your mask on," and we couldn't have more than 4 actors.
I think it was 4. I'm trying to remember.
More than 4 actors with a mask off.
Yeah, so there was
Okay, that makes a lot of sense and answers a couple of the questions I was going to.
Okay, so so if you're watching the movie, so once our Beavis and Butthead characters meet up with the gang, and the crabs come out, whatever and stuff. So now there's 6 characters together.
Yes.
You don't get to see all 6 characters together at once, and maybe a few shots. Those were the shots that we borrowed when nobody was looking. But yeah, without masks. So having a group of 6 people made it very, very difficult. So you had to break it up.
Oh, maybe it was 5. It was 5 people.
Well, okay. So then, yeah, Skylar dies. Then it became 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, spoiler alert.
I'd say that didn't affect the movie. You wouldn't really notice that until you get to the part where is it Dr. James, I believe is her name, where she just kind of leaves.
Karen, let's go. Okay.
And doesn't come back.
Yeah.
And I had a theory where either there were some scenes that, okay, it was in the script, but we didn't get to it, and that just we had to work around it, or I'm like, okay, she got COVIDed out here. And
That's funny. Those were pickups and she was unavailable.
okay. That I think was in the review is what I said, and then when I was like, yep, because she just goes into the duck. She's like, "I'll meet you later."
Dr. James,
She took a different route. She's gonna meet us there.
What?
And then she comes back, and I'm like, okay.
You're alive!
Like I said,
Fair
man, you nailed a lot of it, man. We were watching the review and I was like, wow, he really knows how these movies are made, man.
We've made a couple of low budget movies ourselves, so
Nice.
and you know, watching a lot of them doesn't hurt either. But like this was certainly a fun thing. I love zombies. I love the idea of like when zombies first came out and we have animal zombies. I'm like, all right, why has this not been done before? This is great. I love the idea of it. Were there a certain amount of like of characters you had access to in like your CG like repertoire here? Like what picked
So
animals?
usually the way it works with these zombie movies is that they build, you know, their ultimate script.
Mhm.
And as we're going through and we're finally in production and we're in prep and stuff, we go through the script and we go, okay, can't do that one, can't do that one, can't do that one. What do we replace it with? Well, let's just replace it with a gator. We already have them in the library.
Mhm.
We already have like a list of, you know, the 5 sea animals that we've already used in other movies.
Sure.
Let's just recycle what we've got and stuff. Every once in a while, like the octopus or the starfish
Crush them. That's the only way to stop them.
will be something new, or even the spider crabs.
Mhm.
You know, those will be like the new things. But originally there was supposed to be 2 walruses facing off with, I want to say it was a shark, like the sharks were hopping along or something like that. And then the 2 walruses were going to come, they were going to charge it. There was something, there was,
That in the hallway, the after
Ye-
Brandon.
yeah, it was the hallway scene. They're all hallways. But yeah, the one walrus was supposed to charge, another one was supposed to, they were supposed to attack. I forget. It wasn't a gator. It was something new. It was like a dolphin or
There
something.
was set up between Skylar and Douglas that there would be some sort of a face-off between a walrus and a shark.
Oh, the tusks of a walrus and the serrated teeth of a mako. It's a pretty good matchup.
I got my money on a walrus.
And we were like, okay.
Yeah.
And then that makes sense. It just, you know, it got pulled out. I was wondering how close we were from script to final vision and wasn't sure
Yeah, that
what
was
got
definitely
tailored based on our location or what CG elements we had access to.
right. That was what we call rollover. So that was something that just didn't get scratched off the script as we were going through. Because I remember actually while we were shooting that scene, I was like, oh God, we're not going to be doing the shark and walrus scene. Okay, let's just keep shooting, guys.
I'm glad there's an official term for that I've now learned for the first time. Rollover. I dig that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Was there originally a planned scene for like mass shark things? Because it seemed like it was a call out for like something that was going to pay off later with like, where are the rest of the sharks?
Where are the other ones? Yeah.
There's only 2 of them. Where are the others?
What do you mean the rest?
Oh yeah, he says, you know, when he says, oh, there's 2 makos here, where's the other one? He's looking around. That's another rollover. So that was going to be a mako shark and a walrus were going to face off.
Okay, so that is that one. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, you know, and of course, you know, budget constraints, time constraints, you know, just a lack of people in the visual effects department, because I think there's only like 3 or 4 people doing all the visual effects for this one movie.
Oh wow.
And they turn it out in, I want to say, at least 2, maybe 3 weeks. They're amazing at what they do.
What was that?
You know, of course, you know, let's just all be honest. The CGI isn't the greatest. You don't have an army of people, but what you have is 3 or 4 people in a fairly decent sized room with all servers and computer monitors and stuff like that. And what they managed to do in the 2 or 3 weeks that they're given to do visual effects, I don't know how anybody could do it. They turn it out, man. They do, you know, spaceships and, you know, and spiders and sharks and whatever, and tornadoes and all these things. And they managed to do it in just a few weeks. Now, obviously the bigger budget movies like the Sharknado movies, get just a little bit more time and a lot more visual effects counts. We get very limited on our budgets and our visual effects counts. They call it, we get a count.
Sure.
So we have to stay below a certain number of visual effects. Sometimes we go over, But we try to keep it at that, because then it's just a heavy workload for the visual effects department later on.
What
I found it,
percentage?
I found
oh,
it
go
interesting that you're saying that you were limited in the aquarium, not only to the aquarium, but like to specific places inside of the aquarium, right? I didn't realize that. Like, I assume that you were not allowed anywhere near any like real animals for most of it, right? Was that like an effort that they had to do?
Yeah,
for
it
you, or-
was mostly just, I think the closest we got to any sort of animals was when when
D was
when they're go ahead.
when DC was like feeding the
Yeah, when they're feeding the animals. That was basically the closest we could get. When
There's
you
a few
see
quick shots of like the seal and the one fish and like a few other
Oh my god, they're trying to compromise the tank. Run!
things that I think are real. I don't know if the VFX team is like blanking their eyes, right, to do that whole thing, right?
So every once in a while you'll see, like when Christy comes running out of a door that was already open. It was already just open. I said, quick, come through that door real quick and then stop here and then look up and scream. The door was already open. We weren't allowed to go like in the behind the scenes areas. When DC and Brendan come out of the hallway, the double doors and stuff. That was basically as far as they could go. They could go just inside those doors and then burst out. They couldn't go down the hallway behind the. We weren't really allowed to go behind the scenes of the aquariums and stuff, and see the big giant tanks and stuff. And plus, it was loud in there. The dialogue would have been terrible anyway. But what we did get was amazing. What we were allowed to do, and what we weren't allowed to show any signs either. So anything that had a certain logo or a certain just any signage, we weren't allowed to show any signage at all. So we had to frame certain things out very carefully. Put one of our signs over it or whatever and stuff. Like when they're walking and talking, like the Skylar that knows how to cook and all that stuff. That scene, you'll see that there's two aquarium logos pushed up against this signage or whatever and stuff. We were trying to block as much signage as we could there.
How much of a percent of your budget do you think went to your CG or your Vivica A. Fox? I was thinking that is a majority of your budget, and want to know if that is indeed correct.
So let's see, how do I say this? So Vivica gets about a decent chunk of change.
I would assume, and a name actress that's
right,
not
but
unexpected.
But I don't think it really hurts the budget in any way. We're definitely getting a lot of bang for our buck when we get Vivica. I've worked with Vivica multiple times now, and she's always a pleasure to work with, always fun, brings a fun ton of energy with her. But yeah, I don't remember her number really hurting the budget in any way.
Well, not to imply that it hurt your budget, because obviously it's something that's built into being a big piece of the movie.
Right.
The biggest action on the top there.
One day we had her for 1 day.
That would have been my
That's
guess.
the $1 question. Yes.
Yeah. You guys nailed that one too as well. It was like 1 or 2 days. We had her for one. And her falling into the octopus clutches or whatever and stuff, I think was like her third shot that we shot
Now,
that day.
please let us talk about that for a moment.
Sure.
What is supposed to happen there versus what we have?
Okay. So originally, and Ava can tell us about this too as well. So it's so convoluted. The way the script was written was they had to get to the breaker to turn the breaker on to open the doors to let them out of the aquarium. There's another part there too where like they have to turn it on and then turn it off again. I think was the idea, was to turn it on, electrify the fish, kill all the sea life, and then turn it back off. I think that was it. I can't remember.
Okay.
I mean, we shot the movie in 6 days, so everything goes very, very fast. You barely even have a chance to direct. So yeah, the idea was that she was going to pick up the axe and sacrifice herself, but on her way, she was going to hit the breaker box with the axe.
Okay.
And then the axe, I think, was supposed to stick into the breaker box or something like that.
And then gonna get it.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
We thought
So-
maybe like the octopus was gonna tentacle and like just like knock it out of her hand. or
Right,
something.
right. So
It was
the
gonna flip
mysterious
around,
axe just
fall down.
disappears.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and her position kind of just we're like something had to have happened here.
Yeah.
And okay, so
Yes.
something else they got tweaked and pulled. This is this may be a very dumb question, but was the movie always going to be in an aquarium?
Yes.
Now, I asked that because certain things, so my theory, which I now know is wrong, is that this was once going to be in some sort of like a military, like a undersea type of a situation where they were maybe experimenting on further things, because there's certain
like a
lines and things that
facility
happen.
or a lab or something.
Something,
Yes.
because we have moments where like the lockdown in general is one of those things where like generally fire doors and stuff that close, they close to stop the fire, but you can still kind of leave. So I was like, lockdown must be because this is they're working on the virus, from movie 2 or something. That like would have been my initial plan. And
Lockdown? What do you mean? We're stuck here?
Hey, don't worry about it. There's no fire or anything. Otherwise, the sprinklers would have gone off.
But I just told 911 there was a fire.
Dude, it doesn't matter what you told them. They can't get in and we can't get out until the lockdown is over.
we have things with like how generally people are kind of blasé about death. Like if I was in the aquarium and someone said there were a few dead people, I might have a reaction a little bit. These are like
You'd say
ice
this is
vein kinda
unusual
things.
for our profession.
A little.
Normally
like,
people don't die at work. Yeah.
Wow. So let me get this straight. You're saying this was an octopus?
electric fence around the compound.
Right.
Great.
Don't touch the fence, it's electrified.
So this went through many revisions, and this has been a year in development. Actually, I remember before COVID, Christmas before COVID, I was told that this was in the works.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. And I started thinking about what it would be like to shoot, do the basically Zombies 1, but in an aquarium. And how does the virus get there? Originally, I was hoping that one of the birds escaped from the first movie and landed at this place and infected like a sea lion or something.
Hey, Clue, we're in the sea lion habitat.
And then the sea lion runs rampant and, infects the rest of the animals in the park. So we went through various ideas back and forth, just talking about things and how we wanted to tie this into the Zombies movies. But ultimately we came to, that there was just, a batch of syringes with, mysterious whatever concoction in it and stuff that's supposed to sedate animals or whatever and stuff, ends up carrying the virus from Zombies 1 to Aquarium of the Dead. So that's how that happens. Yeah, we don't really do a lot of explaining on how things get to certain places. Like if you've seen the first movie, it just starts right away. There's a monkey infected, whatever and stuff, and then attacks the medical staff there and stuff, and then the monkeys escape. Finally, we got to go back in the second movie and do a prequel and kind of explain how the virus got into the zoo or whatever and stuff. So we just, if you slow down the movie, if you pause it certain times, you'll see the Eden logo on the syringes, and you'll see those type of things and stuff. But that's about as much as we got into it.
Certainly it was a cool Easter egg because I didn't know they were related at all. So when I first saw that mug, I was like, oh shit. And then a moment later I see the actress from the actual movie. So I'm like, okay. It wasn't a little hidden Easter egg just for me.
There it is.
You're like, this movie's ripping off that movie. Oh no, wait, sorry, no, it's same thing. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say people acting blasé. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know what take.
Neither have I.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. So you also have not seen the movie.
So go ahead, Ava. You finish your thought, and then I'll go and do.
Yeah. So I tried to because there's certain points where like I think there was one time where I acted a little blasé and I was like, oh, I should not have done that. And then after that, I think it made sure to do it.
Just so you know, it isn't you.
Yeah, and that's the hard part too, is that we had 6 days to make this movie. So there's no time to direct. There's almost no time to act. Just say the lines. Just say the lines and run. That's pretty much all it is. Move the camera, move the actors, say the dialogue, and action cut, moving on.
No, knowing it's 6 days, this is amazing. Like that's so much more than I would have expected.
We spent like twice that, and it's much worse. So don't worry about this at all. My God.
Where were we going? I forgot where we were going. I'm sorry. I was.
You've
gonna-
also not seen this film, you said.
Oh, I have not. So
Yeah.
in 6 days, it's a little hard to go, oh yeah, woo, this is gonna be, a masterpiece. I can't wait. You kind of cringe sometimes and you kind of go, oh, because sometimes there's an edit that happens. There's a, something happens in post where you're kind of like, okay, breathe, Glenn, breathe.
Oh.
So I've seen pieces. I've seen a lot of pieces. Also because once I wrapped this movie, I had to go back to my day job as an assistant director and go work with David Duchovny in Mississippi and do all these things. So, so I had to go back to real life after the movie wrapped, and I didn't have a lot of time to sit down and at night and look at edits and stuff and make notes or whatever. But I did get I did see the second to last version, and I set off a bunch of notes about sound and please make this adjustment, please make that adjustment. So I don't know if all the notes got fixed. I will know for sure at the beginning when Vivica has her voiceover at the beginning.
She does.
And I will know for sure if my notes were received.
Okay.
When I see where her dialogue stops. And
we also saw a screener, so I don't know if that's even the final version or whatever.
Yeah, I remember you guys were talking about, you saw some flash frames in there, and I was trying to check and I didn't really see any.
Yeah, it may have been just.
We're not.
I didn't want
the way it gets sent to us or something too. Yeah, we
some
don't
weird
know
compression artifacts. Who's to say?
But it's interesting to see that you're involved in the editing process, but not as much as you like. You're like going back and forth, right? It's like a pen pal thing where you're getting.
Yeah, pretty much. We upload it to
Yeah.
Frame.io, where everybody who gets invited to the whatever the project files, and we go back and forth and we send notes or whatever and stuff. So that was fun. Usually on Zombies 1 and 2, I am completely hands-on. I'm totally available. I stop my life for a good 4 or 5 months or so. I go poor, and I'm selling myself on the streets and stuff. But this one I had to go back to my day job and make some money this
Now
time.
you have OnlyFans, Glenn, so you're fine.
Right, that's also remote now. It's automated. It's good. Yeah.
Yay. But yeah, usually I'm very hands-on and I see it from beginning to end. I'm even the editor. I will sit there with like 2 or 3 editors, because we had 2 editors, including myself, 3 editors on Zombies 2. And every day we would show up, go hack away at it, 3 people, different rooms, different editing suites, and we would just go nuts on this thing. And at the end of the day, we'd go back and review each other's work and stuff. And
awesome.
The second one definitely was a lot of fun. Post shooting, everything about the second one was just magical. I
just rewatched that one and I can agree.
Yeah, right. This one barely had any time to do anything.
Does the VFX work the same in that scenario too? Is somebody in that same room doing that, or is it still separated like you're talking about for this one?
Yeah, it's usually the same. I mean, with COVID, it was very different because you don't usually get to stop into the visual effects room and say, hey guys, how you doing and stuff, show me something or whatever. And,
let me see that octopus.
Yeah.
Real quick question about the octopus.
Go for it.
So like I would wonder if certain things are just, if there's a disconnect because the VFX are happening here, you're happening there, this and that. But I was wondering, like, on the page during the VFX, what is supposed to be happening during that octopus part? So like the octopus, how it is phrased, the doctors are approaching the octopus's enclosure, and they're throwing around some medical terminology.
Bacterial infection, maybe? We might have to run blood work on glucose, cortisol, and lactate to gauge levels on medium-term consequences.
One of them is CPR.
Initiate cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
Which I was like, wait a minute, are we about to see some mouth-to-mouth on an octopus? And I'm waiting, and we don't. And it's alluded and then kind of said directly that the octopus has passed because it is reanimated. But during its CG, he's kind of like flying about and zipping, and there's a heartbeat monitor where he's flying at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And like that one threw me because I was like, wait a minute. I wanted to know, on the page, is it dead and she stabs it with the syringe? Because it seemed like there was a little bit of a disconnect in that particular CG moment.
If I remember in the original script, I think it was just going into convulsions already, and it was supposed to be, it wasn't in a tank. it was in the script, I believe it was like it had its own like rolling tank. It wasn't this big gigantic standalone tank like it is in the movie. I think in the
I
script
picture
it was
like on a gurney.
yeah, it's kind of like
in
a
the
tank.
mid bay. It's like
Yeah, it's kind of like a tank on a gurney type thing. And it was supposed to be in that. And I think it was dying. It was like going into convulsions. It was like angry and whatever. And so they did the syringe, and the syringe was supposed to go into, you know, a vial. It was supposed to go into this in the tubes and stuff. It was supposed to be all these things. But I just said, you know what, just take the syringe, just jab it in down below frame or whatever and stuff. We'll get the idea, do the countdown, and you know, we'll go from there. Of
the
course,
idea is definitely grasped. I'm just a nitpicky, crazy person, and
same. I am exactly the same way. I wanted the tentacles to come out and start grabbing poles and lifting itself up, and you see its, you know, its mouth and stuff kind of hissing at her while she's all looking and scared. But we didn't get that. So,
well, we still have that for the next one.
Right. Exactly.
So there were a couple of practical effects in here, not a ton, but there were some things there. At one point, like you have a crocodile come across the front of the screen, and that didn't appear to be digital. That looked like that was real. Is that right there?
There he is. There he goes. Bye.
So that was one of our major questions, was how big some of these practical effects were, because based on camera angles, I was assuming they were rather small, and I think one of my questions just got answered, and I love
that's amazing.
the usage.
So usually when I do the Zombies movies, Amazon is my friend, and I will go online and I will try to find as many practical things as I can to give the actors something to work with or whatever and stuff. We had spider crabs. We had these rubber spider crabs, and I think I left them in the car when we went to shoot those scenes, and I didn't have them on set for any of the actors to look at. It's just when you're doing everything yourself, you forget everything. Your mind is racing a million miles everywhere in every different direction. But I actually have 3 rubber crabs that I was going to have on set for the actors to work with.
But
I
didn't have those. I would have been so much better had you have these crabs.
I know. You know what? We'll do it for the sequel. How's that? But yeah, I like to have practical things there for the actors to work with. In the first Zombies, we had like a real giraffe. You know, we had a much bigger budget on the first one too. But you know, for the things that we didn't have, you know, like the razorback, the tusks thing, I forget what it's called. You know, we actually had the stuffed dead animals. What are they called again? The taxidermy.
Taxidermy.
We had a taxidermy one that we were ramming it into the set piece. But you know, it's just fun. It's just little quick cutaways here and there and stuff of these things. In the second movie, we had a few things too, which some puppets. Oh God, I had these little rubber puppets that were like the size of my hand, but when you got them close enough to the lens or whatever and stuff, you could do things with or whatever and stuff. So it's just fun to have some practical things on set here and there.
Most definitely. Big fan of practical effects. So, yeah.
So, you know, this is my Amazon purchase of $45 right here. I don't have anything else here, but yeah, you know, just having some fun practical props around is always fun.
Most assuredly. Were there plans for, like, you know, the crab that gets launched out? Is that something that you think will go into the next movie with the wildlife spreading, or is that crab considered dead? Because he does get like just Mark McGuire out there.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny too, because usually like with Zombies 1 and 2, we have something at the end of the movie, some sort of little coda, you know, a little cookie or something.
Yeah, we were looking for a button.
Give you something at the end of the movie and stuff. But this one, we just didn't have any time, and we just didn't know if this was just gonna be a standalone spin-off or if this was gonna, you know, break off and do a sequel or not. So usually what happens is we'll go back, look at the previous movie and go, where can we start? Where can we pick up from? What is it? Is it the crab that got knocked away? Or, you know, is it, the guy that gets handcuffed at the end of the movie and stuff? Does he come back? What do we do? What happened to Miranda? What happened to everybody else and stuff? So, yeah, we just watch the movie and just try to figure it out from there.
I like it.
The day that we did pickups to the director, Anthony Ferrante, he was gonna film we were gonna film something and we just didn't have time.
That's right. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
He wanted to do a little button and stuff, a little something at the end there and stuff that we didn't get to do. So again, because I had to go back to my day job, the movie came up a little short. Yeah, 6-day movie. I mean,
perfectly serviceable movie. You know, as a man who considers himself an expert in a particular genre here, I think you did fine. Speaking of which, your day job stuff, I think I have like 20 movies you worked on here, like on the wall behind me. So like, you know, I consider myself a fan. I don't think I, like, in all honesty, was not necessarily familiar with your work, that it was you, but now that I know you, I'm going to keep an eye out for your stuff specifically, and we'll see stuff in the future.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so I, was off in Mississippi and I didn't get to join the gang for pickups. So, I hit up my good friend, Anthony C. Ferrante, and I said, Anthony, I need your help. Please help me. And I caught him just in the nick of time because he was about to go off on his own adventure doing something else. So he was able to donate some of his time to come down and direct the gang and get these pickups done. And you guys shot for a day or a day and a half?
The day.
Just one day.
Yeah. And it was all the, it was everything. It was new scenes. And then we redid the ending with, because when the first time we did the ending, it was like in the back of the aquarium and like with two people holding a.
And it was incomplete too. We didn't have a full scene.
Yeah,
we just had pieces.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. So then we went into the whatever, the victory
lane, the lane victory.
Lane victory.
The boat?
And yes.
Yeah, and so down underneath the lane victory, there's all of these like cool pipes and stuff. So like Anthony was like, this is a great place to do it. And I was like, cool. I can really, because I'm pretty buff.
I remember we talked about that. We really wanted you to scale the pipe and stuff. You even offered. I remember that was amazing. I loved it.
What do you need? Because I do stunts too, so like, and do martial arts, so it's like it's not a big deal for me. So
that's just a Tuesday for you.
Yeah, I was like, this is Tuesday, and so I really swung from the pipes and stuff, and really like pretended to like almost slip, and I don't know how it turned out, but.
It came out great.
It came out, yeah.
Yeah. And you had all that pressure of not being allowed to film there and being worried someone was going to arrest you, chase you. No.
Yeah. And also, like I had to think about like, okay, so what's happening, because Clue dies. So I had to like remember that. Plus I'm doing all this other stuff. So it was just like, I had to go back and remember what was happening.
My favorite part was watching those new scenes in pretty much the final cut of the movie with the visual effects put in. There was only one shot that was missing. It's like a pool of blood. But everything else was there. And I'm watching Ava. This is stuff that Anthony shot on during their pickups. And I see Ava kind of going like this, like you're walking around, like something's dragging you or something. And I'm like, what is she doing? Is she trying to walk through water? Is this the idea that she's walking through water? So we ran out of visual effects. So at the end of the movie,
you might say that they ran dry by that point.
So Ava's scaling the pipe. She gets to the other side, and DC says, "Keep going," or whatever he says. So she keeps going, and she comes down some stairs, whatever, and she goes down to the bowels of the aquarium, and it's supposed to be flooded.
They didn't put CGI water in there.
I'm sorry, I had to find out this way. Oh no!
So it's gonna be a fun premiere. Let's bring a lot of alcohol.
Like, okay.
As a person who's now watched this movie 3 times, I don't think I even noticed that was an issue. Like, and I'm a person that is like just looking at issues. That didn't come across as a problem. You're fine.
Yeah, because it's barely noticeable.
Exactly.
Ava, trust me, it's barely even noticeable. But I'm sitting there watching, I'm going, what is she doing? I'm like, she's supposed to be wading through water. And I called up Anthony and I'm like, Anthony, is she supposed to be wading through water right now? And he's like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
They'll just think like you hurt your foot or something, right? It'll be fine.
It was a
Right.
stressful
It'll work.
day. There's an octopus. No one will blame
It
you.
was a really stressful day.
Well, I meant for Miranda, but yes, for you too.
Shocking.
Did they took that out, right? Because
Yeah, that's not in there.
Anthony was like, say a catchphrase, and I was like, the only thing I could remember was when 007 Sean Connery like sees his woman die in the tub, and he goes, shocking.
Shocking.
And I was like, I guess.
I hope there's deleted scenes.
Yeah.
We don't use
Yeah, right.
Anthony and I started doing that on Sharknado 2 when we gave Vivica a line at the end of the movie when she puts the two cables together and she says, "Let the fireworks begin."
Let the fireworks begin!
So yeah, we started doing that. It was like, if you're gonna have a heroic moment or whatever, say something.
Sure.
So
yes.
you know,
You never know what's going to be your iconic moment. That could have been your
yeah.
love from Team Bennett. Who knows?
Well,
And she says one here, right? She's like sashimi or calamari or something.
calamari,
She's
my
like-
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep fried calamari. Favorite.
Yeah, and then the ending is different than the ending that we did was different than the script.
Yeah.
How did the script originally end the film?
DC was gonna like run off and he trips and falls and he hurts himself and then the EMT takes him away or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
They
the
were-
after you're out of the
so
okay.
he
Okay.
doesn't get caught per se in the original ending. Like you don't call him out on his
You
bullshit.
don't- yeah.
No, that still happened. He just got hurt and he was supposed to get, I forgot how it's supposed to.
It was really weird and I was like, hey,
Yeah.
can I punch him?
Yeah.
Glad you
That's what
made
it
that
was.
suggestion. That came out really nicely.
Take him into custody.
Ma'am, I don't have that kind of authority. I'm only a minister to save lives and bring badly injured patients to the nearest medical hospital.
Okay.
That'll do it.
Okay, good. And then
Yeah.
and then Glenn was like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it
It's
came
like,
out great.
please, definitely.
Yeah, 'cause,
Please.
I mean, I know how to do all that stuff too, and so does DC. So I was like, let's
Mhm.
just do this. This is so much easier, and it makes more sense in that moment because it's just so
Yeah.
fast.
And it pays off the whole thing for the whole movie. You're always like, I'm sick of your
Yeah,
shit. What are you doing?
yeah,
You're on one. Yeah.
Also, like I tried to establish at the beginning that me and DC were like friendly,
Mhm.
and so like it was kind of this nice like bookend to that.
I felt a little sad that he betrayed the group and was a bad.
Yeah, he betrayed. Yeah.
I grew to like that character, and I'm like, it's always the one you like that turns out to be an asshole.
DC's character was supposed to die originally.
Oh yeah, how was he gonna die?
I think it happened during the walrus and shark scene. I think that's
Saving his new love from the walrus.
Okay, here we go. This is what was supposed to happen. Okay, so DC's character was supposed to get established early on where he was a trainer and he was given a tour to a couple and he was tossing the ball. So he was having the walruses do the ball gag, the tossing of the ball back
Mhm.
and forth, which is, I don't think I've ever seen a sea animal do that, but tossing the ball back and forth. So at the end, when he dies, the walrus was supposed to pick him up and toss him back and forth like a ball, and then I think eat him or something. So it was supposed to be like that.
Oh, that could have been great.
Yeah, 'cause the original sides I auditioned with were me catching him, like footage of him and me.
Oh, I thought you meant from the walrus.
No, bringing him into the office and saying like, hey, like.
That's right.
Yeah, and basically saying like, hey, I get to fire you because of this, and then show him the footage and like.
Right. Yeah, that he got caught doing that type of shit with the animals.
Yeah, and then they cut that.
Yeah.
What was the overall experience like filming a nice B horror movie?
Go ahead, Ava.
What?
What was your overall experience? Like, is this your first B horror movie?
No.
Oh, what else have you done? Maybe I've seen it.
I did this one called Amityville Harvest.
That's a good name.
That was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I like doing a lot of character work. So like I that was supposed to be like Long Island. So I did like an accent. My hair was really short. Like I did all this work for it. And I just feel, I don't know. I do a lot of character work when I go and do scripts. And then like, just so I can blend in to the movie. So I'm not like too over the top or very grounded and things like that. So yeah, that I feel like I did my due diligence on that movie, but obviously like my acting style is a bit different than the other people who are in that movie. So
as will happen.
As a very carefully worded statement. I'm impressed by all that.
Also, I had a few people that were like, "You were in that movie," and I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "This character, like, oh, I didn't even like recognize you." So that's always like,
acting,
right?
Yeah.
So I convinced you I was a different person. You're saying, like an actor.
Yeah. So that was nice. This was honestly, I can honestly say that this is my favorite film I've ever worked on so far in my career, just because like Glenn was really great, and like you know, DC and I were always like trying to figure out how to work the script with the environment. And
yeah, it's like, hard because usually you have a little bit more time to work with the actors and say, well, we don't have that, so let's figure something out, you know. And I get to work with them. I literally had to go work with the DP. I'd have to go like, this is the type of shot that I want, and then Ava and DC and some of the gang would like go around the corner, run the lines, and they would figure out what works and what doesn't work, especially based upon the location or the, you know, what we were shooting at the time and stuff. Because the structure was there based on the script. We had the blueprint. We just had to deviate a little bit here and there just based on our location, what was actually workable, what we could do, what we couldn't do. You know, can we do this stunt? No, we can't do this stunt. So let's just throw in a line, you know.
And there was some stuff that we couldn't change. Like not to say that we got in trouble, but we were like trying not to deviate too much, because it's, you know, it's somebody else's script, and
sure,
want to like do its due diligence.
No, unless you're Gary Busey or somebody, you can't be messing with that stuff.
Right.
So, but like you know, as an actor, like I need this to make sense for me, because if it doesn't make sense, then you're not going to believe what I'm giving you. So that's a whole nother thing as well. So like, I feel like DC and I spoke up the most.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. In terms of trying to like navigate where we are at the script, or like what's happening, and like trying to, would this work?
But that was the other thing too, is you guys were amazing. I think I threw it at you on the first day you guys either worked together at the office when we did all the computer scene, when you're talking to Kim from the first movie on the Skype call. Originally, Ava wasn't supposed to be in that scene. She's not even in the script for that scene. It's supposed to be just between DC and Kim, and they're talking back and forth, talking about, hey, I need you to destroy those serums, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'll get on it right away, whatever. But I wanted to up the, you know, just the ante a little bit there, and bring Ava into that scene so that Miranda could actually be there and be like, is he going to destroy those things or not?
To hear his BS, like, we have a third party that takes care. Consider it done.
Because it was really weird, because we were doing all these scenes, and Ava was like, I think you asked me at one point, we were like, how does Miranda know about the serums being, you know, that have to be destroyed? Does she get a phone call from Kim too? Or, you know, did Dr. Rogers send her an email or something like that? I said, no, we're just implied that since Daniel knows, then you must know. So I said, no, I think it's best if we throw you in there. It'll merge the two movies together better by having the two leads in the same scene together.
And now in Zombies 3, you have seen each other via Zoom call, so it'll all make sense.
Yes.
I know you.
Yes, you can bring me back for Zombies 3.
Oh, it's already locked in. You got to come back.
Yeah, no, honestly, like I've told this to Glenn a million times, but like I love working with Glenn. If you should be a fan of him, because I'm a fan. So just from working with him, we
had so much fun. I wish we could have shot for longer. 6 days. I barely even got to know you guys in 6 days. It was literally like, I think on day 6, the last day of the show, we all started to really kind of bond, and the energy was there. You know, it was kind of like one of those things where you can almost complete each other's sentences type thing. So yeah, on the last day of the show, we were all kind of having this melancholy, and also just having this fun energy because we were shooting in a lot of really fun places. I think that was the day we got to do the shark hop scene. Where you guys hop over the sharks.
Yeah.
That was just such a fun, and then we had to race downstairs and do the glass breaking scene real quick, and then from there we had to go out to the back and do the, you know, the finale of the film and stuff. It was such a rough schedule. But we were bonding on a level because we were all getting our asses kicked every minute of the day. These guys had to memorize lines. They have to say the lines and they, you know, and not flub them, fuck them up, whatever and stuff, and keep the energy of the scene going. I have to make sure that the camera is doing what it's doing. And, you know, and the DP, I actually did all the camera work. I have to say at least 90% of the camera work that's in the movie, except for the pickups, I did myself. Just because me having to tell the actors what to do and then having to tell the DP and the camera department what to do, I just wanted to get rid of the middleman and just do it myself.
Yeah, not enough time for that. You gotta...
Yeah, there's just not enough time to direct the actors and direct the DP and the camera department and tell them what needs to happen.
Yeah, he usually had that steady cam on him, and we would go to try to talk to him. He's like,
hold on a second, give me a second. Oh.
I'm just trying to think, like, what else about the movie? There's some stuff I didn't even know that what they filmed. Like Anthony filmed a bunch of stuff that same day at the aquarium with the two firefighter guys.
It's a fire. Can we find out it's not?
Yeah.
And like, I have no idea what they filmed.
Anthony saved our asses on this movie so much. 6 days, you know, a dozen cast members. There's like 3 stories going on. You got Daniel and Skylar going off and doing their thing, Miranda and the senator doing their thing, and then you have these firefighters outside that are trying to break in. There's 3 storylines going, and Vivica too. There's 4 storylines going. So how do you shoot all that in 6 days? So I had to call up Anthony. I'm like, Anthony, it's me again. Can you come in and help me, save me?
Did you have those guys that I know outside yet, or
yes?
Or is that all Anthony?
Okay. So while we were shooting inside, Anthony was outside shooting the other stuff.
Was the script already segregated into those 5 storylines before COVID, or did okay? So that just worked out beautifully then for your limited amount of people.
Yes. So we didn't have Scotty Mullen to write the script. He usually did. He did the first one and the second one, and Scotty was unavailable to do this movie. So the writer went and watched and read the scripts and watched the movie for the first 2 and basically learned the structure that Scotty had built for us from the first 2 movies. And really expanded upon that because you got all the technical science jargon in the movie. You have the multiple storylines going on. Something crazy happening every 5 minutes in the movie. The writer did an extraordinary job, just an amazing job. And yeah, we had a boatload of fun.
Would anything have been different had COVID not been happening during the filming of it, aside from just like, you know, the ease of shooting and being able to have multiple people in the thing? Were there any things that you were like, we're just not going to do that because COVID's making it too difficult?
The one thing that I wanted to do was have an open facility. I wanted to have patrons in the aquarium. Or my original conception of the movie originally was that it was kind of like an opening day kind of thing. It was just a normal day where field trips were showing up. Kids are coming off buses or whatever and stuff and going into this place. So I wanted the place to be open to the public and have large crowds of people running from octopuses and walruses and whatnot and stuff. So that was the only real thing that I think this movie was missing, was just, you know, the element of, you know, the public and civilians being chased by a lot of these creatures.
Yeah, some nice random kills here and there.
Yeah.
Always could spice things up. But I think, like, you know, all things considered, this came out really well. Like 6 days, the middle of a pandemic. I you know, what more could we ask for? we got zombies in an aquarium and they're fish. It's fantastic.
Yeah. You got the budget less than a Tesla, and you know, off we ran. Yeah.
Even
thank you so much for all the kind words, man. You've seen it more than I have, so I'll take your word for it.
You've seen it more than you have today, I think, alone.
I've watched it twice today.
Watch it again, yeah.
That's amazing. That is so good.
I'm a person, I like to rewatch movies a lot to really like, you get a sense of things. You like see where things are, you figure out things, you catch things more the second time, the third time, you're looking at other people's reactions. And like across the board, I think when a movie's fun, you enjoy it those other times more because you're like, I'm not trying to pick things up, I'm just trying to take it all in. And this one was a fun watch. I think people could definitely enjoy this one. This is a great one that people could watch in a group, have some fun. So tell me, like, where is this? So is it coming out the 21st of this month, right?
Yeah, so I was checking the emails today because I wanted to be able to have some sort of information to give away. The email that I got that I didn't read until now, I got it 2 months ago, said that it's going to have a limited run in theaters for about a week.
Awesome.
And it's not going to be your major chains. It's going to be the little mom and pop chains. So dig deep and go down that rabbit hole and find what you can, but it should be on the big screen somewhere in a small town near you.
All right.
That's so cool.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, man.
Are they still trying to do like a premiere too?
I think we're going to do Tony's idea.
What's Tony's idea?
Tony's idea was at his place.
Oh, okay.
So we were gonna have our big gala event, and have our big red carpet premiere. We will still have a red carpet. It just won't be at the giant megaplex movie theater. It's gonna be a little more intimate, and we'll get to hang out and stuff. And
I'm dressing up because
I'll totally dress up.
Tuxes all around.
Dress. Might not fit into it after I get back from Alaska, but I'm wearing a dress.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, thanks so much for like coming on and answering these questions, guys. This has been a totally great learning experience about what it took to make this movie. So you guys want to obviously plug this film, go check out Aquarium of the Dead, but your social medias, any other projects you're working on?
Right now, I'm just back on my day job, man. I'm about to go work with Chris Ray. Some of you guys might know him. He's also directed with The Asylum before as well. I'm going to go work with Chris Ray on something big. That's going to be my summer. And then after that, I'm going to go back and put pen to paper and start working on Zombies 3.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to start getting on that and stuff so we can kind of wrap this thing up. Have a nice little box set of Zombies movies out there for.
If you want to bounce anything off a couple idiots on YouTube, we're always here for you.
Yeah.
Always, man. Always. I'll take everything I can.
Back. Make sure Miranda comes back.
Of course.
Already in the works. Yay.
Yay.
Guys, thank you so much for having us. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Oh, I have to plug.
Yes, go right ahead.
So my name, my social is EVACEJA. It's just my name, Ava Seha.
As spelled right here?
Yeah, man, how it's spelled right there.
Like where?
And then I'm going to Alaska for 10 days to film a film Tuesday. So then I get back on the 20th and then I get to go watch the movie for the first time. And then I'm actually filming a movie tomorrow with Haley Duff and Heather McComb and
Yay, tell Haley I said hi. Haven't seen her in years.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Called The Baby Pact, which is the sequel to The Wedding Pack, which is directed by Matt Berman, I'm a really good friend with, who's amazing. So I'm really blessed this month to be working. And then I booked a TV show 2 weeks ago, but I can't say what TV show yet.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned to her Twitter to find out that in the future.
But it's going to be on Netflix. It's a TV show on Netflix.
All right.
Yeah. As far as social media goes, Zombies, Aquarium of the Dead, the zoo, that zoo right there, the Eden Wildlife Zoo, and the Shining Sea Aquarium all have Instagram accounts, so you guys can check those out.
Cool. All right, so check those things out, subscribe to all those things, follow, etc. And until next time, thanks again.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers. Anyone have questions before we start this question and answer? No.
Ava, what are you eating?
It's chicken.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on.
Oh, cameo appearance.
I did watch the review. It was very funny.
Thank you. Let's wait till we're on camera, though.
Totally.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff